Hey, John Campbell from ArizonaBushman.com. Today, I'm going to be doing a video over the Pygmy Viper. Okay, now I hope the sun's not too harsh for this. Now this blade is custom made by Three River Blades. It goes through a heat treat process and then it's cryo treated. It's an extremely strong blade. The handle may look a little funny, but this handle feels pretty good in my hand. You can see there's 3 stainless steel pins, micarta handles. There's also a small lanyard hole. Now, one of the things that I found interesting about this knife is the thumb ramp. Found that while I'm carving, and I'll demonstrate that to you right here, you can see the thumb fits very well on that thumb ramp. Makes for a comfortable little knife. This particular blade is 3/16 of an inch thick. There is a 5/32 model. Comes in a Kydex sheath. You can tell this is a well-seasoned piece of juniper. Carves a lot easier than the wet stuff. A lot of times when I test a blade, I like to sharpen a stick. Reason being, if the blade is too thick for fine carving, it's going to keep snapping the point off. Got down pretty fine. Alright, what I'm doing now, carving a notch in here. Wow, this stuff is really seasoned. So it'll make a good trap. Alright, basically what I'm doing is I'm making a notch, and then I'll make another one on this side for it to catch on. And then we'll set up the rest of the trap. I had to stop for a second. I ended up getting a sliver in my finger. Sliver. I'll try to pull this out without breaking it. It happens. Got some desert broom fluff here. I'm going to put on here and just hold it for a little bit. Let that absorb some of the blood and create a clot. And I'll get back to the trap. Alright, here we go. Finish carving this groove a little bit. It actually surprised me. Knife isn't what slipped. I went and I grabbed a hold of this, and you can see all this here. Piece of it just let go and went in my finger. It happens, guys. Should be wearing gloves, but when it comes to this fine work, I don't like wearing gloves because I can't really feel what I'm doing. They become a little cumbersome at that point. Oop, this side. It's also a little awkward holding this without my index finger, but we'll get it done, right? There we go. They're holding pretty good. Now this particular style of trap, trigger I should say, is written about in my book. I wrote about it about 5 years ago, and for a long time there was actually an article on my website about it back when it was azbushman.com instead of arizonabushman.com. Alright, sorry for the bad angle. What I've done is I've gone through and I've cleared off the spring pole. You also want to clear off everything that gets in the way when this thing goes up. So that would be this one right here. Now all these that are cut off, you're going to want to use those to fence that little critter in to force him through that noose. Just the way we want it. Got that tied to the spring. Now, what I'm going to want to do is put my peg in directly underneath it. You don't want any opposite force on this. So here we go. Now when pounding this in, be careful and don't hit the side with your notch. You want to pound it in, be very careful, because if you break that notch off, you're going to have to start over. Looks good so far. Okay. Now I like to prefer to call this one the toggle. Reason being is because it's the one that will move. You can see how they're hooked together, and you want to be extremely careful with this, because if that pops up, it can take your eye out. Okay, now I didn't go through and fence it off and build it to where it's proper, because you wouldn't be able to see it. It wouldn't be a good demonstration to be able to show it on camera and show how the mechanism itself works. Now these sticks, you can see, noose is loose, so are the sticks, because once the critter is fenced in and he's funneled through here, these are going to break away. You can see that. Then as he pulls, to get back, I didn't want to get smacked in the face with that. You can see that he is caught. Now when I pull the string, you can see how there's a little bit of rotation in there. That's because I tied the snare in the front. When it pulls, it essentially rotates it out and makes sure it's going to pull out. Let's do that again. That's fun. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of me using the Pygmy Viper. And I hope the wind wasn't too big of an issue. Alright, as for the Pygmy Viper, was it sharp? Yes, it was. That was just some really hard wood that I was using. A lot of this juniper in this particular area, even a Mora knife has trouble going through. It's the thing about the desert. The lack of water makes for some real dense wood. Again, I'm John Campbell from ArizonaBushman.com. I'll see you soon.